Hi, I'm Mark, and I have an unusual sinusitis story to share with you today. It's about how I got rid of my chronic sinusitis naturally and finally reclaimed my life after more than 17 years of suffering. Now, I'm going to tell you my story because it's probably very similar to yours, and if you watch this entire video, I'll do more than just tell you a story. I'll give you the solution I discovered and use to this very day. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get rid of your current sinus infection faster than you ever thought possible and treat the underlying cause of your condition, gaining lasting freedom from sinusitis. I've never given away this much information before in a free video that you can watch all in one sitting, so I hope you won't miss this chance to learn crucial facts that can help you treat your sinusitis once and for all. There are 3 easy principles you must understand to fix the underlying cause of sinusitis. 1. What sinusitis is and why you have it. 2. What doesn't work and what can make your sinusitis worse. 3. The only effective way to treat your sinus infections. By embracing these 3 principles, you can get rid of your current sinus infection extremely fast. Treat the internal cause of sinus infections and achieve freedom from sinusitis. Eliminate facial pain, sneezing, stuffy nose, eye pain, and fatigue. Save thousands of dollars in medical costs. Restore your energy levels and improve the quality of your life dramatically. Let me reiterate, if you watch this video from start to finish and follow what I teach, you'll undoubtedly see your sinusitis condition fade away. Don't worry, this is not another sales page for conventional sinusitis medication, another over-the-counter decongestant or mucus-thinning syrup commercial, another herbal or traditional Chinese remedy. This is real information you can use right now. You may be wondering who I am. My name is Mark Digney, and I'm a certified nutrition specialist, health consultant, medical researcher, and author. I'm also a former sinusitis sufferer. Over the past 10 years, I've helped 267,000 men and women in 193 countries treat their sinusitis, and today I would like to help you. Do you often experience any of these symptoms? Facial pain or pressure? Nasal stuffiness or discharge? Loss of smell? Feeling of congestion or fullness in your face? Pus in the nasal cavity? Discolored postnasal drainage? Headaches and eye pain? Bad breath? Fatigue? Dental pain? Are you frustrated because you know there must be an answer to your problem, but you haven't been able to find it? Well, you just found it. Imagine this. You wake up one morning 3 to 4 weeks from now and it hits you. Your sinusitis is gone, wiped out completely. There's no facial pain or fever, no debilitating cough or sneezing, no nasal blockage or discharge. You don't need to take any painkillers or antibiotics, and you feel healthier and more energetic than you have in ages. And it's all because you finally figured out the answer you've been searching for. According to my parents, my first sinusitis attack was when I was only 5 years old. I don't know if I ever remember not having a stuffy nose, dripping sinuses, headaches, and fever. Even as a child, I battled chronic sinus infections. I missed school. I was forced to quit the sports teams that I loved. Playing outdoors with my friends was difficult since pollen and other allergens seemed to increase my symptoms. By high school, I'd become somewhat of a recluse, the nerd with the drippy nose who spent all of his time indoors. Then I went off to college and decided I was going to break free from my former life and really put myself out there. I soon made friends and even landed a beautiful girlfriend. I was feeling good both physically and emotionally for the first time in my life. Then a winter cold made the rounds of the dorm where I lived. Every guy in there seemed to be sneezing, coughing, and sniffling. I held my breath. I knew even a simple cold could render me useless for weeks. Finally, the inevitable happened. I woke up with a sore throat, congestion, and the dreaded nasal drip. The cold everyone else could shake off had its grip on me, and I felt scared. I trudged down to the medical building hoping to find relief, but I was handed the same package of cold remedies everyone else on campus was given. But you don't understand, I tried to explain to the nurse. I suffer from chronic sinusitis, and this cold is going to do me in. She smiled and shoved the bag of remedies into my hand and said, "I know, sweetie, everyone feels like that the first time they get sick away from home and their mother." With that remark, she sent me back to my dorm and to bed. I suffered through the next week like everyone else, taking over-the-counter medications, heating soup in my hot pot, slinking my way to class in a haze, and then going back to bed. But when everyone else got better and I didn't, even my roommate became concerned and reported me to the dorm's resident assistant. He, of course, told me to go back to the medical building and stop infecting his dorm. By then, the doctor on duty did prescribe a hefty antibiotic, certain that my symptoms would disappear in a few days. They didn't. For the next few months, I made at least a dozen trips to that same office, was prescribed 6 separate rounds of antibiotics, and was finally told at the end of the school year to go see my family doctor when I got home for summer break. Needless to say, I spent the summer trying to recover from that winter cold. Little did I know that that was only the beginning of my ordeal. I'd spent my childhood battling chronic sinus infections, but I'd never experienced the kind of medical chaos and illness that awaited me for the next 5 years. And it always began the same way, with a slight sniffle or cold, and within days I had a fever, sinus pain, pressure, and a horrible headache. The colds everyone else shook off lingered in me for weeks, sometimes even months. My muscles and joints ached all of the time. My head was fuzzy. I couldn't concentrate. Battling the effects of chronic illness took its toll. My grades slipped, and it took me a year longer than normal to finish my degree. My friends got tired of my constant complaining, and even my beautiful girlfriend got fed up and hooked up with someone else a little less needy. I felt tired, I was depressed, and I was sick. Going from doctor to doctor didn't help. Every appointment ended the same way, with a new prescription and a promise that my sinus trouble would be over soon. No one seemed to understand how difficult life was becoming. After all, I only had a sinus infection. Was sinusitis incurable? Over the years, I tried every conventional alternative sinusitis treatment known to man. Antibiotics, prescription decongestants, corticosteroids, mucolytics, myriads of over-the-counters such as nasal sprays, oral and nasal decongestants, antihistamines, herbal remedies, breathing techniques, detox diets, vitamin therapy, hydrotherapy, aromatherapy, macrobiotics, reflexology, Chinese medicine, vegetarianism, magnetic therapy, the mucus-less diet, the blood-type diet, and more. I tried everything. Yet, despite years of focused effort, I still suffered from severe chronic sinusitis. But I refused to give up. I was determined to find a cure. Why? Because I knew that I'd never live a normal life if I was always worried about the next sinusitis attack. I became obsessed with researching autoimmune and allergy disorders, nervous system imbalance, and nutrition. I bought every book on rebalancing the autonomic nervous system, lung detoxification, immune enhancement, hormonal regulation, detoxing, diet, and nutrition that I could get my hands on. I spent hours at the library reading stacks of books and journals, and my personal library quickly grew to over 780 books. I also interviewed countless other sinusitis sufferers, endlessly picked the brains of every doctor, herbalist, homeopath, and naturopath kind enough to lend their time. As I waded through the information, I saw glimmers of hope. Delving deeply into this little-known condition, I saw patterns that would someday offer me freedom from its vice-like grip. I enlisted my college pals to help me research the causes and treatments of sinusitis. Our small group scoured medical journals and the internet for answers. The stories that unfolded were astonishing and frightening. Within a month, we'd uncovered a multitude of facts about sinusitis that shook me to my very core. Did you know that people spend more than $11 billion a year on sinusitis medications? One friend asked. While another came rushing to me in the corridor of the science building, blurting out things like, did you know that 70% of people with sinusitis also have allergies? And current research shows a distinct link between a weak immune system and damaged nervous system and sinusitis. Once my little group unearthed the real facts about sinusitis, one thing became clear. Blocked sinuses are not the real underlying cause of sinusitis. I knew I was finally onto something. First, I researched all sorts of scientific links between different parts of the body and sinusitis, as well as different diseases and sinusitis. The results astounded me. Sinusitis was not just an infection of the sinuses, as I'd been told, but a manifestation of a deeper disorder inside my body. Sinusitis was triggered mainly by the disrupted internal balance from a compromised immune system and toxicity, which, along with other factors, led to chronic sinus infections. All of these had to be addressed and corrected. After more than 11 years of diligent work and in-depth daily research and a long process of trial and error, I applied my years of training to finally uncover the solution to sinusitis. The sinusitis puzzle was finally solved. I took my research findings and developed a powerful 7-step method. It took me more than a year to polish and refine my 7-step system. And in the end, I applied it to myself with great hopes and passion, and to my sheer amazement after a few weeks of following it, finally, my sinusitis completely disappeared. Gone were the facial pain, eye pain, headaches, fever, and feelings of congestion and discomfort. I circulated my 7-step system within the sinusitis community. I offered my system to dozens of sinus infection patients I'd befriended on a variety of blogs and forums. Approximately 85 people agreed to give it a try, and the results were amazing. Within just a few weeks, the emails and phone calls started flooding in. I feel better already. I can't believe how fast this worked. My pain and feeling of congestion are all but gone. Yes, my plan was working. I'd found a real system. The results were nothing short of astonishing. 98.2% of the men and women using my system reported everything from dramatic relief to a complete recovery from sinusitis. I received phone calls from all over telling me they'd heard about it and wanted a copy. That's when one of my old friends smiled and said to me, "Why don't you make it available on the internet?" I thought, what an amazing idea. It can be made instantly available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to anyone, anywhere in the world who needed a proven, guaranteed sinusitis treatment guide. How did I do it? By embracing the truth that hardly anyone knows or will tell you about. And here it is. The best sinusitis treatment in the world is no sinusitis treatment. And here's why it's the absolute truth. If you focus on external symptoms of sinusitis using antibiotics, decongestants, corticosteroids, or syrups, you'll temporarily relieve the symptoms of your sinusitis. And that's okay if you want a life dependency on expensive chemicals, but that's not what most people want. The first thing I discovered in my 12-plus years of research was that almost everyone is getting ripped off by the pharmaceutical companies. Did you know that Americans spend approximately $1.7 billion every year on sinusitis-related products, including prescription and over-the-counter treatments, according to Feedback Research Services, a healthcare research firm? Hundreds of different manufacturers produce thousands of different products, and nearly 30 million people with sinusitis in the United States consume them every year. With this kind of money at stake, these greedy companies will tell you anything to get you to buy their products. They'll even lie right to your face. And these companies don't want you to actually heal your sinusitis, because when you do, they'll lose a customer. The second thing that I discovered was that almost everyone is dead wrong in the way they treat their sinusitis. In fact, the methods you're using right now may be worsening your sinusitis condition and severely damaging your internal health. The fact is, sinusitis can be very dangerous if left untreated or mistreated, and can worsen with age. Mistreated or delayed sinusitis treatment can lead to life-threatening brain abscesses and meningitis, or an infection of the facial bones or the eyes. Some physicians even warn of the risk of death due to sinusitis-related disorders and complications. As you can see, sinusitis is not a condition you want to ignore or try to live with. There's a better way to get the job done. I'm going to share with you 5 powerful keys to permanent freedom from sinusitis and its related symptoms. Key number 1, prescription drugs will not cure your sinusitis. It's well known that you shouldn't take antibiotics, decongestants, corticosteroids, or mucolytics for the long term. Taking these medications can cause vitamin and mineral deficiencies, cause dangerous overgrowth of bacteria in the intestine called Clostridia, and lead to kidney disease, hip fractures, and more. The vast majority of drugs can severely damage your internal balance and liver function, build up toxins, slow down metabolism, and lead to serious side effects, eventually making your sinusitis worse. Key number 2, over-the-counters will not heal or prevent your sinusitis. Don't fall for any of those grandma home remedies or over-the-counter product commercials for sinusitis, such as decongestants, nasal sprays you see online, or TV infomercials. They're worthless. After more than 12 years of research and experimenting with every known external treatment on the market, I can confidently say that no home remedy or over-the-counter can actually cure sinusitis. While some over-the-counters may temporarily alleviate your symptoms, they only serve as Band-Aids to mask your condition. Only by fixing the underlying cause of sinusitis can you overcome this debilitating and painful condition for good. Key number 3, diet alone cannot cure sinusitis. Recent studies have found a strong link between diet and sinus infection. The right diet can reduce inflammation in the sinuses, strengthen the immune system, and decrease sinusitis symptoms, while the wrong diet can negatively affect your body's toxin elimination process, trigger allergies, compromise your immune capabilities, and thus aggravate sinusitis. Nevertheless, diet is only one of the factors involved. Sinusitis is a complex condition that is triggered by multiple underlying factors. Therefore, the only way to neutralize your sinus infection condition is to tackle all of these factors holistically. Key number 4, sinusitis is a message from your body telling you something is wrong inside. Sinusitis and all of its symptoms are like big warning signs in the middle of the road. By ignoring these warnings, your condition is bound to get worse. By using drugs and over-the-counters to shut off your body's alarm system, you're practically ignoring your body's messages and neglecting the root cause, thus making your sinusitis condition worse in the long run. Key number 5, the cause of sinus infections and the only effective way to treat your sinusitis. Sinusitis results when your internal balance is disrupted due to a compromised immune system. Candida overgrowth, toxin buildup, and lifestyle factors such as poor diet, stress, inadequate sleep, and obesity. Sinusitis is triggered by multiple internal factors and therefore can only be treated by tackling the internal environment responsible for sinusitis, not by tackling the sinus infection, draining the nasal passages, thinning the mucus, calming the coughing, or by relieving the facial pain through painkillers. The only way you can ever control and treat your sinusitis is by correctly diagnosing your condition from within by listening to what your body's trying to tell you. Work with it and free yourself. Let me introduce you to my best-selling program, Sinusitis Miracle, the only holistic system that will teach you how to achieve lasting freedom from sinusitis and its related symptoms and dramatically improve your well-being. Sinusitis Miracle is a 100% guaranteed 7-step clinically researched system backed by 47,000 plus hours of expertise. It's already helped over 267,000 people in 193 countries to treat their sinusitis naturally. It's literally the only program you'll ever need to achieve complete freedom from sinusitis and maintain it for life. Sinusitis Miracle is a fully customizable program that works for all types of sinusitis, including allergic acute sinus infection and subacute sinusitis. Now, I know what you're thinking. It all sounds amazing, but will this guide really work for me? Over 267,000 people in 193 countries have already used my program successfully over the past 4 years. Sinusitis Miracle program has one of the highest satisfaction rates in the entire industry. 98.2% of Sinusitis Miracle readers are satisfied with the program, while only 1.8% had to retry the program a few weeks later. And I've used the feedback from all of those people to refine the program into the current updated version made available today, which is more powerful than ever. Here's what our customers are saying about the Sinusitis Miracle program. Dear Mark, about 2 years ago, I developed a severe case of sinusitis that would not let up. The pain, sneezing, and coughing were simply unbearable. I purchased several over-the-counter treatments to reduce the symptoms, and while they worked initially, eventually things wore off and left me with an even worse sinusitis than ever before. The same goes for medications I took with the advice of my doctor. I felt horrible, and after doing some research online, I found your website and purchased your program, and the results were almost instantaneous. In less than 5 days, I felt tremendous relief. 2 weeks later, I became completely free from the unbearable eye pressure and constant sneezing. Using your methods, I've kept my chronic sinusitis at bay ever since. Rob Kurth, Florida, United States. Hello, Mark. I'm 45 and have battled with severe sinusitis for the last 9 years. A month and a half ago, I stumbled across your Sinusitis Miracle program. I had my doubts, and I didn't think it was the right program for my sinusitis or if it was going to work at all, but I did order it because I'll do anything to rid myself of this crippling condition. Over a 3-week period, I've seen an improvement that I'd never experienced with any conventional or so-called natural treatment. The nonstop coughing and swollen face have decreased dramatically. My breathing is significantly better, and I got rid of the pressure in my eyes. I can now save the money that I would have wasted on drugs and over-the-counters. Your suggestions have kept my sinusitis as well as the other respiratory-related symptoms at bay incredibly well. I also lost about 15 pounds. I'm feeling so healthy too. Thank you, and God bless. Frieda Goff, Berlin, Germany. Dear Mark, I was searching for a natural solution to the pressure around my eyes and for the constant sneezing and other conditions and stumbled upon your program on the internet. I suffered from chronic sinusitis, and your program was the only thing that helped me. I highly recommend your book to anyone who's perceptive about their health, and for those who are tired of being told they should learn to live with it. I feel so rejuvenated and lucky to have found your system. Jill Ariano, Milano, Italy. Dear Mark, prior to trying your program, I read virtually every guide ever written on sinus infections. But it was only the unique alternative treatment outlined in your book that helped me get rid of the agonizing condition and other chronic annoying symptoms. Within a few weeks of adhering to your suggestions, I've experienced unbelievable results, as for the first time in years, the breathing difficulties and frequent facial pain and headaches have stopped. I would recommend your guide to anyone suffering from the horrible sinusitis symptoms. Matthias Ramon, Barcelona, Spain. Here are just a few of the unique elements you'll find inside the Sinusitis Miracle program. The clinically proven 7-step Sinusitis Miracle system that has helped thousands of men and women worldwide to naturally treat and prevent all types of sinusitis within 30 to 60 days. An exclusive 12-hour quick relief plan that can dramatically improve your sinusitis almost immediately. One kitchen component and one healthy food that can seriously aggravate your existing sinusitis and that you should never use. A unique detox protocol specifically designed for sinusitis sufferers. Simply follow my instructions and you'll see amazing results in days guaranteed. The crucial link between candidiasis and sinus infection, and a powerful protocol that you can implement right now to fight yeast overgrowth, heal sinusitis, and feel better than you have felt in years. A secret combination of vitamins and herbs that can do wonders to alleviate your sinusitis extremely fast. Step-by-step instructional diagrams and illustrations that will take you by the hand and walk you through treating your sinusitis faster than you ever thought possible. And so much more.